in my opinion, it's extremely important to keep investor sentiment strong in these growth companies. Welcome into the video, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about Tattooed Chef, okay, ticker symbol TTCF. Guys, if you've been following my channel, you know I love their products. I've done numerous videos on this company. One of my best videos is actually a Tattooed Chef video. It actually helped me get monetized and really build my channel. And I covered the company for a while. And if you watch my channel, you could see that as time went on, I tried all their products. Was a huge fan of all their products. Okay, I don't even remember how many products I've tried. At least upwards of 20 something. So I was covering Tattooed Chef because I've noticed there was a huge following, and I actually started my YouTube channel due to the fact that I was really interested in the company. Okay, so I was a bull going into Tattooed Chef. All right, what ended up happening was I definitely became a little bit more bearish on Tattooed Chef here, guys, as for me personally, I wasn't enjoying what was going on with management. It did seem like they were dropping the ball in areas that they really shouldn't be dropping the ball. And it was stock-based compensation was one thing I noticed. I didn't like how they were managing some of their assets overall. And then on top of that, it was late filings, okay, started happening. So all these things started piling up, and it left me less confident and trustworthy in the company, as I wasn't sure if management was going to execute to the level of expectations. Okay, I still like the company, guys. Just want to give you guys a heads up on that. But so personally, guys, overall, I thought that there were some question marks here in Tattooed Chef, and obviously I still have the product in my freezer, so nothing against the company. It was more the way the business was being ran. Tattooed Chef was definitely one of my growth favorites. Okay, so no question about that. What has happened recently here, guys, and why the stock is just collapsing? Obviously, the overall market is okay. We can go over here, see Beyond Meat's falling off, a very good food company. Campbell Soup obviously remaining strong, as now they would do well in a recessionary period, and that's a company I covered a while back, as I thought they were a safe bet if we were to go into a recession. But we can see that most food companies are getting hammered. Obviously, your more exposed growth companies that are not quite profitable yet are the ones that are getting hammered even more, which would make sense. So what ended up happening was Tattooed Chef on March 2nd, they filed a form called a Form 12B-25, which extends their ability to report earnings, okay? And so they did that. Obviously, there's going to be mixed feelings within investor sentiment when that happens. Some people are more forgiving than others, but understand that I would be frustrated if I'm investing in a growth company. They don't have a lot of coverage, so the only time you get anything from the company, truly get anything, is going to be your quarterly reports and or maybe some news feeds that come out on the company. So, and report on time, okay? The reports don't always have to be great. We understand that, taking on that risk as a growth company, but at least report on time, okay? It gets frustrating when companies report late. So we go to Edgar here to look at recent filings with Tattooed Chef, and we can see on March 11th, which was yesterday, guys, they filed a 8K. And what 8K is, guys, an 8K is basically a news form or an update to investors. So you get what's going on within the company, as they obviously have to keep everything public, or at least try to, okay? Board concluded that the company's unaudited interim condensed consolidated financial statement for the quarters ended March 31st, 2021, June 30th, 2021, and September 30th, 2021, each as previously filed with the Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, should no longer be relied upon because the company did not properly record tax effects associated with company's issuance of 825,000 shares of common stock to Harris & Co. on June 2021. Okay, so this is a big kind of red flag. One, you're expecting companies to report accurate information. How the heck do you not report the issuance of 825,000 shares? And it's just crazy, okay? And this was obviously for partial consideration for the services rendered in connection with the company's de-SPAC transaction that occurred in October 2020. How is this past transaction affecting this past transaction affecting them now? Well, the company recorded a full valuation allowance on all of its deferred tax assets. Accordingly, the increase in the valuation allowance associated with the deferred tax asset was also deemed to be material to the company's results of operations for the 3 months ended in June 30th, 2021, and the 9 months ended in September 30th, 2021. The company will restate the unaudited consolidated financial statement identified above. The company will file amended quarterly report on Form 10Q for the quarterly periods ended in March 31st, 2021, June 30th, 2021, September 30th, 2021, to include the restated consolidation financial statement with the SEC as soon as practical, guys. So now what happens is an increase of a net loss is going to take place of $4 million or 5 cents a share. 3 months and 6 months ended in June 30th, 2021. Okay, so that means they're going to show a loss. They have to show a larger loss on June 30th, 2021. It's not going to impact the quarter of September 30th, 2021. This will have no effect on cash flow for the company's period, have no effect on previously reported loss earnings before tax for any period, have no effect on companies previously reported adjusted EBITDA for any period, have no effect on the company's liquidity position, and have no effect on the company's operational future. So guys, basically this was an audited mistake here, and these things do happen, but it's just frustrating. So it makes sense that they had to file a 12B25 as they came across this probably doing their financial report for the quarter, and obviously they had to go back to the drawing board, fix everything up, and then get everything sorted out so they can file and get back on track for their delayed quarterly report as of now. So, once again, I don't think this is disrupting. For me personally, guys, I'm not surprised that these things are kind of happening. It was one of the concerns that I had was not their business essentially, but it was how management is kind of handling being a public company responsibilities is kind of where I felt they were a little bit dropping the ball or being a little neglectful to the investors. Not done purposely, I don't think. I just think it's done by I think it was done just by not having experience. But overall, the marketing's still good. The food is good. I think the overall business is still intact. The one thing I would say is you got to watch the dilution with the company, or how much valuation are they taking away from you as a shareholder. Okay, that's definitely one concern I have. But overall, I think they're growing the product line, and they're obviously getting into more and more stores. So everything's still great with the company as far as a fundamental business intact. It's just these little hiccups that are really causing investor sentiment to go the wrong direction, okay? And that can absolutely affect the future value of a stock, guys, okay? Because if it will translate over to the customer. So if people are not trusting them as an investment and they're dropping the ball and kind of doing what you would consider shady activity, it's probably going to hurt them on the consumer side as well. So definitely something you want to keep an eye on, okay, guys? Hopefully that clarified what these filings were if you came across them. So, because of the net losses contributed to it, I think that's a big reason why we're seeing the stock down, pretty drastically. Overall, it's been holding fairly strong in this down market, but as we can see today, it definitely had a pretty rough day. So hopefully that clarifies some things for you all. And as always, guys, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending it with me, and we will see you next time, investors. Peace.